And salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world: movies, movie news, TV, streaming, all sorts of good things. Joining me here today, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett. Robert, how you doing today, sir?
John, how could I not be having a wonderful Friday?
Oh, it is Friday, isn't it?
It is. I went downstairs. I had my cereal because it's Friday.
I have what?
Never mind.
I'm missing
That
something.
was a little Rebecca Black for you. Everyone.
No, I'm like, he can't be referencing Rebecca Black.
I was.
Oh, wow.
Sorry. Are we going to get demonetized?
Deep cut. I'll tell you
I don't
what,
think
though.
you can.
Not for
I
that
thought of you
one.
last night. I thought of this. I was sitting in front of my TV, opened up my Google Chromecast thing. Right there in the front was like some Blackpink thing. I'm like, well, Robert Meyer.
Dude, live stream.
Did they do a live stream?
Oh, yeah. Yes, they did.
Well, I'm glad you get to end off your week on such a high
you know what? I have to temper my Blackpink love because it's a little creepy and weird, really. To be honest.
And you
Not if you
always
respect them as
say
musicians.
And you say it every time. Speaking of creepy and weird, sitting right beside Robert Meyer Burnett, Chris
It's
Carr is
me.
back. Chris, how you doing?
I'm always creepy and weird. I'm great. I had a wonderful day at Disneyland with my brother. I am hella sunburned. It was so much fun.
I love your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
That Christopher Walken shirt.
Yeah, I
That
got
is-
a fever.
That's money. Sitting over there, joining you guys in the live chat today, he'll be in there with you, Mr. Ray Orr. Ray, how you doing?
Hey, Chris, brothers are dope, huh?
Brothers are dope. Yeah.
That's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying, brothers are like way better than sisters, right?
I mean, I think I'm pretty cool. But
Depends if your sister has good friends.
Sitting beside Robert, running the show today, producer Jonathan Boyko. Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How's everybody doing on this fine Friday morning?
And we are so glad that you guys are joining us here today on this end of the week show. We got a bunch of things to talk about here, and here's how today's show is going to go. We're going to start off the first half of the show talking about some predetermined topics. Then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your live comments and questions. How do you get a live comment or question on the show? That's simple. Number one, you got to be watching the show live. Number two, when we get to the end of the main topics, we'll announce that we're opening up the super chats. And once we do, that is your cue to start firing in your thoughts, opinions, theories, questions, and we'll address those in the second half of the show. All right, guys, with that all down, we've got a full docket here today, so let's get rolling into it, and we'll start off with this. You know, every once in a while, a movie will come out, and it'll kind of quietly come out, and there'll be some talk about it, positive, negative, whatever, and then all of a sudden, you look at the box office result of it, and you go, what the hell? Jurassic World Dominion is one of those movies, because that movie came out, kind of subdued reaction to it. You know, some people quite enjoyed it, which is great. A lot of people didn't like it. Perfectly fine. But this movie has very quietly gone on to come up just short of $1 billion. It's made over $970 million at the box office. Like, then I remember when I looked at that number, I don't know why in my head I'm expecting to open up the box office numbers and look at it and see like 650, still a good result, but like just shy of $1 billion, which is kind of crazy to me. Well, now Universal and Peacock are hoping to parlay that success into streaming success because they have announced that Jurassic World Dominion is now coming to, still have a hard time saying it, Peacock. It's coming to Peacock on September 2nd. The movie is coming to Peacock, and it's going to have some bonus stuff as well. Listen to this. This was in the Universal press release that they sent out to me that says, fans can also look forward to an all-new extended edition featuring 14 extra minutes of the film and an alternate opening. Not an alternate ending, an alternate opening. In addition to the extended version, the exclusive special edition includes captivating behind-the-scenes content, which is normally my favorite stuff, chronicling the making of the movie from beginning to end, the original short film Battle at Big Rock, which I actually think is really good, and much more for the perfect movie night at home. So, I mean, this thing has had its theatrical run. I mean, there's no universe in the multiverse that you can't qualify Jurassic World Dominion's performance at the box office is anything but outstandingly successful, regardless of what you might think of the movie. Incredibly successful, and that's rolling over to Peacock. Extra features, bonus content, extended runtime. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that people kind of want to see movies going to streaming have. A lot of the stuff that would traditionally be on physical media.
Absolutely.
So we want to see. So Rob, you see this. What do you think of it?
I think it's great. You know, if you're a fan of the film, getting a new version of it. And 14 minutes is not just, it's add a scene. That's a substantial chunk of movie right there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows what happens in those scenes? Maybe as long as more people get eaten, I'm good. But and adding all this extra bonus stuff, that's what streaming should be about. If we're not going to get the physical media that we used to get, why not do that? I mean, for fans of the movie, it's a great thing. Good for Peacock.
What do you think about this, Chris?
I mean, my first reaction was 15 more minutes of this masterpiece. Wow.
That's cynical.
But
That's cynical.
did you miss me? So, but I'm interested now though with all the extra content. I know they're going to pull me back into this, and I'm sitting at home and I already have Peacock, so I might as well watch it. So I think this is great, and I do love that this is what streaming should do. It should have that kind of DVD special feature bonus content aspect to it.
Because look, I may not love this movie, but I love making of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't matter how much I don't like the Star Wars prequels. I can watch their making of special features for the rest of my life. I mean, I can watch that stuff. So I love that they've got that stuff on there. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? September 2nd, just a couple of weeks. Jurassic World Dominion is going to be on Peacock with all this bonus features as well. Are you intrigued by all the bonus stuff? Maybe you don't care at all about it whatsoever. Whatever your guys' thoughts are, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's do one more off the top, and that is this. I can't remember, Rob, if it was WandaVision or if it was one of the Mandalorian seasons, but I remember one of those Disney Plus shows, there were rumors going around that there was going to be a surprise bonus episode.
Yes.
And I can't remember if you guys in the live chat remember which show that was. And I remember we discussed and thought about it. It's like, wow, wouldn't that be cool? Don't know what's going to happen, but how great would that be? Well, I guess Netflix was listening to that sort of talk because their new hit show, Sandman, they came out of nowhere, Rob. Like Randy Orton with an RKO. Out of nowhere. And they dropped.
I'm like, is that a good thing or bad?
they
Rob like,
dropped.
huh? Okay.
They dropped a bonus episode of Sandman that nobody saw coming. And of course, I knew there would be nobody more excited about this than you. So tell everybody about this. What's going on with
Dude,
this?
okay, first of all, now I love the Sandman. It's my favorite comic series of all time. And this adaptation of Sandman has been absolutely wonderful. I am astonished at how faithful it has been to the comics and the fact that they've adapted it and made it more focused because they had to take some of the DC stuff out. It's been amazing. So the first season of Sandman was 16 issues of the comic. It was Preludes and Nocturnes, and then it was A Doll's House. After it was over, the next thing of Sandman, there are two stories they could adapt for season 2, which would be The Dream Country, which is 4 issues, and then Season of Mists. So I figured, okay, that's what a great second season. Last night, I'm in front of my computer, and somebody tweets out, they dropped an episode of Sandman. I'm like, the only thing like it could be is something from the Dream Country. And I'm like, one of the things I was wondering, are they going to adapt A Dream of a Thousand Cats?
Because you had been wondering about that
Dude.
before. You talked about that on the show. You were so excited about it.
Bruh, I go, what the? And that's the Sandman as a cat. Right there. It's Dream as a cat. And this is the only comic I ever gave my mother to read. And John, I swear to God, I don't know what this says about me. I started crying. I start watching this and I'm hearing the voices. The animation was beautiful. They made a really interesting choice that might be controversial, that none of the cats' mouths move when they speak in English.
That would have made it much more complicated to make.
It's way more complicated.
That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Launching mouth flaps is the most expensive part.
I'm watching this, and then it goes into, this is about 16 minutes long, and then it goes into Calliope, which is another. It's 2 issues of the 4-issue Dream Country story. I swear to God, but at the end of this, when Dream shows up, and there's a 50-50 shot where Dream jumps down and this cat are face to face. Dude, I lost it. I'm like crying. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And I'm like,
now don't give everything about the episode away to people. Who haven't seen it.
And I had tweeted, I had tweeted to Neil Gaiman. He actually tweeted back to me. I go, this is like 6 months ago or something. And I go, are you going to do A Dream of a Thousand Cats? Like, how would you do that? And he gave some like wink, wink, nudge, nudge response. He didn't say, but he said he was doing it without saying he was doing it. And there it is. Like I couldn't believe what I was seeing, dude. And I'm like, I can't believe Netflix did this, because are they going to do A Midsummer Night's Dream and Facade, which are the other two issues of that? I got to tell you, this might have been my favorite thing that happened all summer.
Chris, I know you were also excited about this. What do you think
Yeah.
about what they just did here? And could we see Netflix do more of this? Like if they see like the reaction, that surprise bonus.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're
episodes, could
already
they do
not
more?
advertising their shows, so they might as well do this. Just slide on in there. It's just business as usual. I think this is great, though. I love this because I woke up to, you all were texting at 10:30. I go to bed. And so I woke up and was like, oh, Hubbard, because you were so emotional.
Oh, I was
got so excited for
and
you.
then Derek Jacobi shows up in
Yeah.
Calliope, and I'm like, oh my
When I-
God, it's
I
Claudius.
love him. I am such a huge David Tennant fan. So having him and Charlie Sheen as voices too in The Cat of a Thousand Dreams, I'm so excited about it. And the animation looks stunning.
I can't even. It was the greatest thing that happened all summer. I swear to God.
Well, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? And now that Netflix has done it, do you think other streamers like Disney Plus, like Peacock, like HBO, do you think they might take notice of this? Maybe think, that could be a fun thing to do. Whatever you guys thought about it, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. Before we move into our main topics here today, we're going to take a quick second and thank one of the sponsors of today's video, our friends over at Babbel. Hey guys, we want to take a second and thank the sponsor of this episode, Babbel. Now, as an Italian, did you guys know my real name is Giovanni? Anyway, as an Italian that doesn't actually speak a lot of Italian, I've always wanted to learn better Italian so I could converse with my Italian relatives. And that's where Babbel is a godsend. And for you guys, for all your summer travels, or whether you're going abroad or staying domestic and want to immerse yourself in the culture, now is the perfect time to start Babbel. Babbel is the language learning app that sold more than 10 million subscriptions. Thanks to Babbel's addictively fun and easy bite-sized language lessons, there's still time to learn a new language before you reach your destination. With Babbel, you only need 10 minutes to complete a lesson, so you can start having real-life conversations in a new language in as little as 3 weeks. Now, other language learning apps use AI for their lesson plans, but Babbel lessons were created by over 150 language experts. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, Italian, and German, and others. Right now, you can save up to 60% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/Campea. That's babbel.com/Campea for up to 60% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. And thank you to our friends at Babbel for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. All right, guys, with that down, let's now move into our main topics. And how do we select our main topics on the show? Well, that's where you guys come in, where we need you. You guys come up with our main topics. See, whenever you guys come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic here on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Chris, what is our first main topic today?
Our first topic comes from Baron Tilson. Hi, John and crew. So I never heard of the Idris Elba movie Beast until I heard you mention it last week. So I went to check it out on Thursday night, and I had a really good time. It's not winning any Oscars for screenplay or anything like that, but by the time the movie was over, I found myself having to catch my breath a little. Did you have a chance to go see it? And if you did, what did you think of it?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Baron. And yeah, I have been kind of excited about this movie. I'm a big fan of the Michael Douglas, Val Kilmer movie, The Ghost and the Darkness. It's like one of my favorites. I love that movie so much, about a couple of lions, whatever. And when I saw this, I thought, oh, this is kind of like a take on that a little bit. Didn't get a lot of marketing. Didn't get a lot of press. And the last I checked, it had like a 70-something%. So a good critic rating, but nothing mind-blowing. It didn't get into the 80s or anything like that. So I went to go watch it, and this is how I'll sum it up. The movie absolutely challenges you to stretch what you consider to be believable at several points in the movie, while trying to maintain a sense of verisimilitude and realness to it.
Right.
But, oh my God, the tension in this movie, like my buttocks was fatigued by the end of this movie from just being this lion, who, by the way, the lion's all CG. And could you tell with a discerning eye that this is clearly a CG lion? Yes, but I don't know that I've ever seen one done better.
Ooh.
Like, for what is not a super high budget film, the lions in this look real good, like really good. Especially there's a scene where Charlton Copley, who of course from District 9, who I like very much, and he was Mad Murdoch in the A-Team. There's a scene where he's actually interacting with a couple of lions, and I'm like you can tell, like when a character, even in She-Hulk, right? There's a scene where Jennifer, in her human form, hugs Bruce in his Hulk form, and you can sort of tell it's a, but when he's like interacting with these lions, I'm like, that looks really good. Like, I was really impressed by that. But again, like the story is it's a basic story, right? It's Idris Elba has 2 daughters. He and his wife had separated, and shortly after they separated, the mom died. Idris Elba's ex died. Now he's trying to reconnect with his daughters. He takes them to South Africa where he met their mother. And they meet up with their old best friend with Copley there. And they go out onto safari and things go wrong, of course, which is they always do. And that's basically the premise. And that's it. It's just them trying to survive and get out of there with this lion coming after them. And why is the lion after them? Well, that's one of the things that's going to challenge you to stretch believability a little bit.
Is it like Jaws the Revenge?
I was about to say there's a little bit of Jaws the Revenge in there. But still, that notwithstanding, it's a thrilling movie. Again, the tension they build up in it is always top notch. As they're playing a little bit of, pardon the pun, cat and mouse with the lion, you're like clenching on your seat. And by the end of it, I was like catching my breath a little bit. And it's like, yeah, listen, the person who wrote it is absolutely right. Any Academy Awards coming in this future? No. Maybe for effects, I don't know. But for writing and stuff like that, no. But Idris Elba was fantastic in it. The girls who play his daughters are fantastic in it. I gotta say, is it gonna end up in my top 10 of the year? No. But I think you would do well to serve yourself by going out to see. If you're looking for something to watch tonight, whatever, I don't think going to see Beast is going to be a waste of your time at all. I had a good time. Have you had any expectations for this one, Chris?
I think this looks really fun. I've been fighting with Logan about this one, where he's like, the more trailers I see for this, the less I get interested in it. And I'm like, I am the exact opposite. I won't skip a Booking.com commercial because of Idris Elba. I love that man. I think he's so talented and so wonderful. The girls do look incredible in this too. I mean, just the clips we've seen too, including some of the stuff from CinemaCon where they're just haggard and crying and trying to save their lives and also dealing with poachers and all kinds of things. I think this looks really interesting.
Rob, where's your expectation level been?
You know what I have to say? Like, Chris, I really like the trailer. Like, you give me an animal attack movie, I'll watch it. I remember when I was a kid, there was a movie called Grizzly that came out. It had like the movie poster, it's this giant grizzly bear. And Day of the Animals, directed by William Girdler, who directed The Manitou. I mean, give me that. Kingdom of the Spiders. Oh, insect movies, I guess it's not. And like you, Ghost in the Darkness rules.
Yeah,
if you guys haven't seen Ghost in the Darkness, it's on Blu-ray. You can borrow it if you like.
People misunderstand. It's not Ghost in the Darkness.
Right.
It's the Ghost and the Darkness.
And the Darkness.
It's you got it. Absolutely got
Ghost
to check
and the
it
Darkness.
out. Anyway, guys, question is for you. Have you had a chance to run out and see Beast yet? Have you had any interest in it? I really do think you'll have a good time if you check it out. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts there. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Chris, what is our second main topic today?
This one comes from Aiden. Hi, John. Okay, I know this one has been taken with a giant grain of salt and everything, but did you hear the latest rumors going around that the Madam Web plot is basically the plot of Terminator? Essentially, a group of Spider Universe heroes team together to protect a young Mary Parker from a bad guy who wants to kill her so Spider-Man will never be born. If true, what do you think of that as a storyline? Thanks and bring on the filthy.
Okay, listen. Around here on this show, we very, very rarely will talk about the rumors going around, stuff like that, because 99% of the time they turn out to be BS. But we have talked a little bit about, because we ourselves have heard some whispers. There was some word going around that, why am I forgetting the Severance guy?
Adam Scott.
Adam Scott, thank you. There was some word going around that Adam Scott may be playing a young Ben Parker and stuff like that. And that Eric Roberts' niece, Emma Roberts, was going to be playing like a young Aunt May or whatever. But that was slightly, this new rumor suggests that rumor was slightly inaccurate. And the only reason I bring it up here is because you do have to take it with a giant grain of salt. But it does coincide with some of the whispers I have personally heard before. And so because this rumor kind of lines up in some ways with what I had heard before, and because I think it's at least very, very interesting, I thought it'd be interesting to bring up. So guys, here's the basic gist of it. The idea is this, is that Adam Scott is not playing Ben Parker, but rather Richard Parker. And that Emma Roberts is not playing a young Aunt May, but rather Mary, who's, of course, and Richard and Mary Parker, of course, like young Spider-Man's parents, right? So the idea is this. We have heard with a lot of the casting, some of the casting rumors suggested one of the actresses is playing Spider-Woman, one is playing Spider-Girl, I believe. There's several iterations of Madam Web, and even a few other characters being rumored. Everybody basically in the Spider-Man universe, other than Spider-Gwen or, Peter Parker himself. So, and remember we looked at the one production shot image where we saw Adam Scott and
Dakota Johnson,
thank you, together, and they were paramedics in front of an older overturned car, and we thought, okay, so is that just an old car, or is that a bit of a period piece? Well, maybe it's a bit of a period piece, because the whispers going around are this, is that there is a villain, who we don't know who it is yet, that literally, and if this sounds like Terminator, you're not wrong, goes back in time and decides they've had enough of trying to beat Peter Parker Spider-Man. It just never works. So they're going to go back in time and they're going to kill Mary Parker to prevent Spider-Man from ever being born. A gaggle of heroes gathers together to go back to stop them so that their buddy, Peter Parker, can someday in the future be born and whatever. Still no Peter in it from what we understand, but maybe Andrew Garfield shows up. I don't know. So I got to say, while that is on its surface, if you look at it just in very plain point form, does that just look like a Terminator kind of ripoff? Yeah. But I would be okay with that, because this idea for a story in a Sony Spider universe that doesn't have Spider-Man to yet directly connect, and I'll tell you what else, it would answer the question of for why, about why on earth even do, like, we've all been asking the question. Like, I've got faith in Sony. They've done some good things. They've done some not good, so good things, but I believe in them. So whatever, I'm interested, but we've always been asking the question, why Madam Web? Like, I believe the grand total is 0 of people in the world who've been asking for a Madam Web movie. So why Madam Web? If, and this is a giant if, and we make no representation that this is actually happening, but if this were real, it answers that question, because she becomes the linchpin kind of character in a storyline like that you could do that. And so I got to tell you, as Terminator-ish ripoff as it sounds, I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that this kind of interests me. And I think this could make for a pretty fun movie. So I don't know, Rob, you hear about this. Let's start with this. The basic even feasibility of it. Do you think there's any chance this could be real? And regardless of whether you think it's real or not, do you think there's some potential in a story like that?
Well, I think it's crazy. I mean, I didn't even know they were making a Madam Web movie until this morning. No, but in all honesty, I'm with you. The idea of time travel, you always come across the grandfather paradox. If you went and killed your grandfather, would you exist? And how does that work? So it's not necessarily, the Terminator plays into the grandfather paradox. So I don't think it's a ripoff of the Terminator as much as it is an examination of the idea of the grandfather paradox, which has been used in many different times.
Well, they just recently
Umbrella Academy most recently.
this season, right?
Absolutely. So I'm cool with that. This actually interests me. And wouldn't it be interesting if in the beginning of the film, I could see Spider-Man, he doesn't exist, and so, or they have Spider-Man and he winks out of existence or something.
Or Madam Web just kind of appears to a bunch of heroes saying there was a hero.
Yeah.
Who would have prevented all this.
I'm in,
something.
Man. I'm in. Now that I've come to grips with the fact that
this would have prevented Morbius.
They would have prevented Morbius if only Spider-Man had existed.
But I'm a fan of this idea. And when I've heard about this, it's interesting. It makes sense. It's a cool sci-fi story. You bring in all these other heroes. It's a team-up story to achieve a goal. I mean, this is classic comic book storytelling.
The big question, though, let me ask this. The big question, because we've been talking about this for a long time, the whole for why. Like,
Right.
Why a Madam Web? Would you have that same kind of ping in your head that I did when I went, you know what? If this was the story, suddenly this makes sense. Does it do that for you?
Yes, I'm with you 100%. Absolutely. And not only that, this actually makes me look forward to the movie. I want to see it now. Because I was like we kept saying, for why?
Yeah.
I had no interest. I couldn't even remember this movie. Every time somebody brought it up, I'm like, they are? And making a Madam Web movie, but this makes sense. And I'm actually now excited. And we don't know this, if this is true.
Giant grain of salt.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
know that this is true
Hey, well,
whatsoever.
can I ask why they have to kill the mom? They could just kill that spider.
I mean, well, they might not
It came
know.
from a spider.
But no,
It's
the
harder
villain-
to find a
we
spider
as
than
the
a baby, Ray.
We as the
Oh.
audience know that Spider-Man got his power from being bit by a radioactive spider. But the villains probably don't know that.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, there's a lot of spiders
Why
in the world,
not
Ray.
just kill the spider? I like that.
I mean, are they
Because
that
it's
evil?
inside.
They just want to kill the mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could kill the spider. Or, I know, Chris, you hear about this. What do you think?
This does make more sense to me because Madam Web can, she is beyond dimensions. She can do planetary travel. She can shapeshift in some dimensions too, like the Beyonder. So this all makes sense as far as a narrative for it goes. I also think it's really interesting to explore Spider-Man's parents because we constantly talk about Ben and May, right? And Richard, there have been a couple iterations, right? In 1610, he is a geneticist. In the 616, we have the spy theory with all of them, where Mary and Richard are spies who infiltrate a Algerian syndicate of some sort, and that's why they got. So I think it's really fun to play with his actual parents and see what you can do there, because that's a sandbox we really haven't played in. We constantly revisit the Ben issue, the May issue. With great power comes great responsibility, and I think looking at his actual parents is really cool.
Now, again, I know I've thrown this disclaimer in here 4 times already, but it's got to be
It's
said
all
again.
hearsay.
This is all like rumor and speculation. I simply bring it up because it does line up with a couple of things I had heard before, but again, we have no idea. It could be something else entirely. But again, the rumor itself does also kind of tie in a bit with that image that we saw with the older car. But listen, there could be a million other things. We're simply saying if this particular setup was what this movie was going to be, it's kind of interesting. So I don't know.
It's webbing time
It's webbing time, damn it.
instead of morbid time.
Question is for you guys.
Yes, Rob.
What do you think about it? Do you think this rumor could be true? But regardless of if you think it's true or not, what do you think about the whole context of it? Do you like the idea of a story like that? Maybe the actual movie will have elements of that and then be kind of different in other ways. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, we're going to take a second now to thank another sponsor of today's episode, our friends at Upside. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this episode, Upside. Guys, from cringing at the pump to getting an eye-popping check at your favorite restaurant, inflation is hitting us all where it hurts, and it really hurts. And that's why I started using Upside. Upside is an incredible app for anybody who buys groceries, gas, or dines out. With every purchase, you are earning cash back thanks to Upside. And guys, believe me, I know. You hear about apps like this, and it turns out you have 40 or 50 hoops you have to jump through, but believe me, Upside is super easy to use. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's not. I've used it, and it works. Upside is a no-brainer. To get started, download the free Upside app. Use my promo code Campea Show and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Next, claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside, check in at the business, pay as usual with a credit card or debit card, and get paid. In comparison to credit card rewards or loyalty programs, you can earn 3 times more cash back with Upside. So guys, download the free Upside app and use the promo code Campea Show to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That's $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more using the promo code Campea Show. And thank you to our friends at Upside for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Chris, what is our third main topic today?
This is from Soham. Hey, John and crew. I love your show, and I always watch it if I have the time. My favorite franchise of all time is the Jurassic franchise. I don't hate any of the movies, and I revisit every movie each year. This year, Jurassic World Dominion came out, and the marketing was making it out to be that this movie is supposed to be the final one. But recently, it's been said by Jurassic Post that the franchise's averages $1 billion per movie. So my question is, do you really believe this is the last one, or will there be more on the way? Thanks and bring on the filthy.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, so and like, yes, when they were marketing this film, it was constantly referred to as the final chapter. Final chapter. This is it. We're bringing the current cast, which I like, together with the classic cast, which we all love, and this is going to be the final one. Now, whether or not you loved Jurassic World Dominion or not, again, we were talking a little bit earlier. This thing has been stupidly successful, coming in just shy of $1 billion, which is, again, nuts, especially when you consider how much of the mixed reaction it got from the critics and the audience and stuff like that, but it still made its money. But again, it was supposed to be the end. Well, now, one of our favorite people in the world around here, Bryce Dallas Howard, she was being interviewed and kind of asked about this, and she completely doesn't just kind of make it sound like they're doing more, but that more is absolutely already in the plans. This comes to us from Bryce Dallas Howard, who said the following. It's very sad to say goodbye to something so wonderful, but also I'm very excited for the folks who will carry the Jurassic saga forward, you know? It will be with a largely different cast and all of that, and that's something that is to be celebrated. I know as a fan what I want to see moving forward, and I hope it comes to fruition. I really do. And that, of course, comes to us from the star of the new part of the franchise, Bryce Dallas Howard. Of course, also a director in her own right, did some terrific stuff in the Star Wars universe. Okay. On the one hand, the Sonham who wrote in, hey, this franchise is averaging $1 billion a film. How do you stop? How do you stop? It's a big recognizable IP. They're averaging $1 billion a film, even if this one came in just a little under. The average is over $1 billion a film they're making. People know the name Jurassic. Yet, obviously, this one had mixed results, like mixed critic results, mixed audience results, and yet it still almost made $1 billion. How do you not make another one? I get that. That is totally there, and that is totally legitimate. But at the same time, what is there left to do with this? Like with the Jurassic franchise, and this has nothing to do with your own individual perceived quality of Dominion. But what's left to do? How many times can somebody see a dinosaur for the first time and go, take off the glass? I mean, we get it. And like, what are we going to do? Next one, at some scene, someone's going to be running down a hallway away from a velociraptor.
It's going to be space.
They're going to Fast and Furious this?
It's kind of like Dragon Ball. How many more times can somebody say,
wow,
we've never seen power levels like this? Like, how many times can that happen? I mean, I just don't know. I throw that shot in there because when I went to the theater last night to go see Beast, we ran into our buddies Matt and Ryan there. So, and they were there to see Dragon Ball. So I just threw that in there for their benefit. But I mean, I get it. So I'm a little bit torn on this, Rob. Your business, $1 billion a film. But at the same time, we've done 18 of these now. And like, at what time do you run out of anywhere to go? I don't know. What do you think about this? If you're in that executive suite, do you make more Jurassic movies after this?
Yes. Dude, I'm thinking Seabiscuit, but with dinosaurs.
Oh,
you
dinosaur racing?
Yeah, man.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh,
come on.
So Seabiscuit meets Speed Racer. Meets Jurassic Park.
Yeah, or you could either do like the boy and his horse or his raptor, you know, and they're racing, or you do the battlefield. We're gonna fight wars with dinosaurs now.
Exactly, that's what I was gonna say.
You know, or there's many different ways. As long as dinosaurs are eating people, everyone will go to the movies.
Dinosaur with ninjas.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. There is a myriad of possibilities with dinosaurs. Domestication. You do Old Yeller with a dinosaur.
Oh my God.
I mean, I'm kind of being half facetious. But think about it. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind, you get Tobey Maguire and you do Seabiscuit with dinosaurs, man.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Spider Raptor.
Spider Raptor.
I mean, hey, you know, I mean, who's to say? And
a raptor gets bit by a radioactive prehistoric spider and becomes super spider.
You know, or you do Jaws with a megalodon or whatever. You know,
Meg.
But they've already done that, you know, with Jason Statham. But that's what I'm thinking. There's so many different ways to go. You now have a world of full of dinosaurs where you can take them anywhere you want to go.
You just want somebody to like white fang a raptor and be
or
like,
d-
get out of here,
Clifford
go.
the big red raptor. You know, I mean, you could go any
You form your own
direction.
like Dino Avengers team, and
I mean, I'm telling you,
getting worse
certain
and worse,
dinos that
Rob.
fight crime.
count me in.
Or do you go a Planet of the Apes route where some of the dinos start to become smart
Genetic
and
engineering.
start talking?
Oh,
like
then it's the
Caesar?
raptors
Well, then
taking
you-
off
then
their
you're-
glasses.
then
What if
you're-
it's the raptors taking off their glasses?
But they
raptor
did that.
with a
They
monocle.
did T-Rex, the movie T-Rex with Whoopi Goldberg.
I remember that,
Jonathan Batul wrote and directed.
Well, and then we just
Come on now.
transition into Jim Henson's Dinosaurs, which was one of the greatest television shows of all time.
Not the mama.
Exactly.
And then we do the sitcom, you know, the comedic version. Dun-dun-dun-dun.
I mean, I don't know what I was thinking. How did I doubt
How did
this
you get
at
this
all?
so wrong, Campea? Come
Come on, man.
Chris, what do you think about this?
I mean, we can say this about any franchise, though. Hasn't it played out? Haven't we done this so many times? Haven't we seen James Bond jump through so many windows? Same thing with like the Borna movies,
Come on,
right?
we want
Aw.
to see this in a movie right here.
That's there you
There
go.
we go.
That's what
I
I'm
love
talking
this.
about right there.
I watch it. What a
The
gentleman.
monocle kills
Look at this
me.
dapper fellow.
Didn't even know that was a possible image. I just made it up, and there is one.
The internet sometimes is great.
Just plug,
Usually
you know,
terrifying.
just plug it into those AI art things now. You know. You
Oh,
just-
yeah.
and
We
you
said
get this
what's
great
with
art.
it.
I mean, screenplays are going to be written that way soon enough.
I just, you know, I think
They are
life
right
will
now.
find a way. This franchise will keep
Life
going.
will find a way. Jurassic Park movies will find a way.
I gotta ask Ray. You interested in more Jurassic movies? I don't even know. I mean, I know you watched the new one at my house.
I mean, if it gets to the point where they start playing football in like a big arena, that would be awesome. Imagine like all the earthquakes and stuff after someone gets tackled. No, I mean, if Rob's gonna go there, I'm gonna go there too. we
I
start
would-
sending them to space to go-
Rollerball with dinosaurs. I'm
Yep.
in.
Yep.
And not the John McTiernan rollerball, the Norman Jewis 1975 Jonathan E. rollerball.
No matter what, I'll never get tired of like dinosaurs. If done well on the screen, I'll never get tired of it. So whatever they throw at us, as long as it's not too ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and as long as,
as long as it's not too ridiculous.
you have to,
At what point does it
Football's
become too
where I draw the line.
ridiculous?
you have to go back to Dr. Ian Malcolm. You can think all you want about can you do this, but should you do
But
this?
should you?
So you have to keep putting that story first. As long as the
Science,
story's
all about
good.
the coulda.
And,
not about
and
the
I have
coulda.
such a crush on Bryce Dallas Howard. How cute is she?
I have such a
do like
crush
But she
on
wouldn't be
Ian
back.
Malcolm.
Apparently, she wouldn't be back.
Yeah.
It would be an all new cast.
I
just
do
pay
like
her
Rob's
enough.
thought about fighting wars with dinosaurs.
yeah, but
Let's say,
isn't that Dino Wars? Wasn't there? Like
Yeah, there's all
an
kind.
entire-
Yeah.
but we could do it better now, right?
Oh, we knew better now.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? Apparently, they are going to continue to move forward with Jurassic Park movies. Again,
ripped
from
up
the
this one
business point of
series.
view, I get it. This franchise is averaging $1 billion a film. On the other hand, it's the same. Unlike James Bond movies or Super, you change up the story every time. This is the same movie every time. I don't know. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 4 here, shall we? And this main topic is kind of like an off the top, and that's this. You know, when the pandemic hit, many industries, many sectors were obviously heavily hit. Few of which more so than the movie theater industry. Because it's hard to be in business when nobody's coming to your theaters. Nobody's buying your popcorn, nobody's drinking your sodas, and nobody's sitting in the seats. And for a very long period of time, they were businesses with huge overhead because the vast majority of movie theaters lease space. They lease their auditoriums, they lease their space. So they have all the overhead, none of the income. And we saw several movie theaters close their doors, including around Los Angeles area, the beloved ArcLight Cinemas
I'm still hurting.
shut their doors, and others did as well. Now, then you had a company like AMC that I'm very happy they're still around, but let's all be honest. The only reason AMC still exists is because the stock got memed. That's it. That is the only reason they're still in existence. The second largest film exhibitor in the world, Cineworld, which owns Regal Cinemas as well, they did not have any such benefit of their stock getting memed and being, 1,000% added to the value of the stock.
And they don't have
Through a
Mr.
joke.
Aaron either. Let's face it.
Yeah, there's that too. And they went through the pandemic and they got hit with gut shot after gut shot after gut shot of financial hardship. And then we come out. Now, here's the thing. The movie theaters have been returning. The movie business has been returning. We've talked about it many. Jurassic World made almost $1 billion. Spider-Man made whatever. Top Gun made over $1 billion.
Doctor Strange.
I mean, Doctor Strange, like Thor made well over north of $700 million. Like, say that's been coming back. But it didn't change the fact that they went through a very long period of time where they got worse and worse and worse for them, financially speaking. The analogy I have for it is this. Somebody gets shot in the stomach. Okay, you stitched it up and stopped the bleeding, but the bullet's still in there and it's rotting you from the inside. And while they've been on the road to recovery, with the additional burden of the fact that we've now in kind of middle of this desert where there's no big films opening right now, and not for the immediate future either, that's just yet another punch to an already open gaping wound of an industry that is really on life support. Again, as long as you weren't the beneficiary of a meme stock. And so with that, the news has come out, and Jonathan, you can bring this up. Cineworld is now filing for bankruptcy and insolvency in the UK, and bankruptcy here in the US for bankruptcy protection. And this is a very, very hard thing. This is the second biggest exhibitor in the world. Now, I'm going to read this for a bit because this is pretty key. This comes to us from Variety, who wrote the following. Debt-laden exhibition giant Cineworld is considering bankruptcy after admitting to low admissions, according to reports. The company, which owns Regal Cinemas in the U.S., has hired lawyers, to help represent them in the matter. Cineworld is expected to file Chapter 11 petition in the U.S. and is considering filing an insolvency proceeding in the U.K., the Wall Street Journal said. Cineworld declined to comment when approached by Variety. On Wednesday, Cineworld revealed lower than expected cinema admissions, which could potentially lead to equity dilution, they said. Basically, they're in a situation now where their debts outweigh their assets, and they're going upside down. Now, we bring this up every time it looks like somebody might be filing for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy does not mean they're closed. Bankruptcy means they get protection from debtors for a limited period of time and given the opportunity to restructure, find more financing, all that kind of stuff. It will mean it's going to impact them. It's going to impact them, no doubt. But this doesn't suddenly mean that the Regal Bayou or the Cineworld Bayou is going to be closed tomorrow. Although there is talk that a part of this reorganization and restructuring may result in the closure of up to 100 locations or more. But whether that turns out to be yes or no. Rob, you and I have said for a long time, while COVID was going on, while we were coming out, that the effects of the pandemic are not over.
Right.
And we see that with like the fact that we've got big gaps in release schedules now because, yeah, great, the movie theaters are open now, but remember, production was shut down for like almost 2 years. So we have not seen the end of the repercussions and the effects. And that's just another situation here. You heard and read about this story this morning. What's your takeaway from it?
Well, I mean, look, even now we're in sort of a desert of movies. In August, there usually was a couple of big titles coming out, but we're sort of up until the end of September. There's a few really cool movies coming out in September, like Barbarian and Don't Worry, Darling. But there's just not a lot going on right now. And like you pointed out, imagine paying the rent or the lease on those empty theaters for 2 years times 100. I mean, that's an incredible amount of money. I mean, these are not venues that are out in the boonies with cheap rents.
Yeah.
I mean, these are huge venues, huge costs that they racked up. And even with all these hit movies, they weren't able to get out in front of it. I mean, there's probably still paying back rent from 2 years ago. So this makes sense to me, but the exhibition business is strong, and as long as monkeypox doesn't sweep we don't have a second pandemic to deal with. But I think this is a smart move on their part, and I think that the exhibition business is shown to be strong when people are going
and when there's product to offer.
When there's product, and I think that the end of this year is looking pretty exciting. I mean, things like with Wakanda Forever and. There's a lot of movies, I think, going into the holiday season. I think that the business will be robust, but can they survive?
That's the thing.
Well, it also mentioned in that article that they will look into equity dilution, which means they're going to issue more stock to raise funds to pay off their debts and
but
whatever.
again, that would be something that would have to be part of a Chapter 11 restructuring. It would have to get the approval of the shareholders. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So again, this step of bankruptcy is not RIP. The step of bankruptcy is we're getting protections right now. We need to restructure and all that kind of stuff. But, again, Chris, we see that the effects of the pandemic are still very hard. The theatrical industry, the movie industry itself is not completely out of the woods yet, although we have seen a lot of very, very positive signs recently.
Yeah.
You hit one dry patch like this, and that could send you right back to the ER. I don't know. So what is your takeaway from this?
I do think it's the right move to claim bankruptcy right now. I mean, going into the end of 2021, they had $5 billion worth of debt. And then I believe in July, they secured about a $200 million loan to try to help with some of that hemorrhaging. And while they definitely have seen a resurgence in people coming to the theaters, you're still making up billions of dollars, billions with a B. So I do think they need to start, changing things up, liquidating some assets. In the chat, they were talking about doing more special theatrical releases to get more people in there, just like we've seen with IMAX doing, the ET releases or things like that. We got to get butts and seats over at Regal, and we've got to really push all of those concessions because we know that's really where the money is.
Yeah, and the recovery is great. Like, okay, yeah, the bullet to the stomach thing, okay, it's been rotting away, infection. Okay, they get you in the hospital. Okay, they start to give you the antibiotics. But then they run out of antibiotics for 3 weeks.
Exactly.
You're going to die. So, I mean, and that's what's happened here. It's like, okay, the recovery's been great. And then all of a sudden, the studios have no product.
Well, you got to really do some kind of cool summer thing here then, right? I remember back in Texas, because it's so friggin' hot, they would do all these special theatrical releases just because you want to be indoors. You want to have a nice ice cold soda and be in that cool AC. So I think Regal has a real opportunity here to try to get people to really see their theater as this nice little respite from the rest of the world.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. This is unfortunately not surprising to hear. Can they muscle through this? Can they make it to Black Panther? I mean, that's really the question, because that Black Panther, that's going to pull in another $1 billion probably for the industry. What do you guys think about this? What part of the story stands out to you the most? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. All right, guys. With that down, we're now going to move on and open up the super chats, and we're going to start taking your live comments and questions for the rest of the show. So go ahead and start firing those in now. But before we get to those, Regal might be in a very hairy situation. And if you are too, you could use our friends at Manscaped.
Best one yet.
We want to take a second to thank the sponsor of today's video, Manscaped. Now, guys, I love Manscaped. You've heard me go on and on about the Lawnmower 4.0 and that body wash. I love it so much. And so we got to ask, guys, have you started your spring cleaning yet? The carpets need cleaning, the drapes need dusting, and your lawn needs mowing, gentlemen. And you guys know Manscaped is more than just one product. They have a whole lineup of products to help you guys feeling, smelling, and looking your best. And so Manscaped is proud to present to you the Performance Package 4.0, which is the only tool that you need to keep your boys looking, smelling, and feeling good this spring. Now, to start off with, you get the Lawnmower 4.0. Guys, we have talked about this. What is wrong with us? Why have we for so long been using these terrible tools that were never meant for cutting our hair down there? The razor clipper things on our electric razors. That's barbaric, guys. You need the Lawnmower 4.0. And then there's the Weed Whacker. You guys have heard our own Ray Ora talk about this thing. He loves using it to get that hair in your nose and the ear hair. And then they offer lots of other stuff like the Crop Preserver. It's an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. The Crop Reviver. It's a spray-on toner for your balls. And of course, they've got the perfect grooming tool for your face with the Plow 2.0, the perfect razor for the finest shave on that face. So guys, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code CAMPEA. That's CAMPEA at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping with the promo code Campea at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. And thank you to our friends at Manscaped for keeping things smooth and cool and for sponsoring this episode of the John Campea Show. You like that? I know that you did. All right, guys. With that down, let's now move over and start taking your live questions. We're going to start with our beloved channel members. Ray, do we got any from the channel members?
Yeah, I didn't think we had any, but 2 just came in. But first, I want to thank Jeff Yerke for gifting 5 John Campea memberships.
And his wife, Mrs. Yerke.
Thank you so much, Jeff, for doing that for your for the fellow viewers and sponsoring, for donating 5 memberships. That's awesome. Thank you, man.
Okay, and we got one from Phil. He says, For the new Jurassic Park series, go along the Star Trek Voyager episode, Distant Origin Route, and tell the story of how dinosaurs evolved, left Earth, and established an empire in space.
No, that's what really happened to them. Wow. So a little bit of Iron Sky and Jurassic Park and Star Trek.
And that's
all
a good
mixed into one.
episode. That's a good episode of Voyager.
All right. What's next?
And then we got one from Jermaine King. He says, now that John has connections with Ryan Reynolds, can we get Mr. Reynolds to do the Manscaped ads? It would be perfect. It would be perfect.
That would be really, really funny. Although, you know, Ryan Reynolds is a busy dude, so I doubt I can get him to do that. I don't know. Maybe I can get him to do one of his own Mint Mobile ads, but I don't know that I'd be able to get him to do a Manscaped ad.
I mean that guy's work ethic is like the rocks. There must be two of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
how-
he's doing a million. Don't forget, he's got that Wrexham
He's got Wrexham,
coming up that looks really good.
everything with Maximum Effort Productions.
And just a ton of business ventures he's doing. I like his social media now says part-time actor and business owner.
Oh,
That's his thing
that,
now,
man.
which I think is pretty cool.
I'm doing my part to support him with all the aviation gin I can buy.
All the aviation gin we
And
can
the Age of Adeline is on
possibly
Netflix.
consume. All right, that's it for the for the memberships. All right, let's go over to our super chats now. Chris, what do we got?
We have some support from Lore Howard. Thank you, Lore. From Nerd News Auto. And then from V. Thank you so much. James Argenta. Could Disney release a World War Hulk story as an Avengers movie as Avengers World War Hulk? Also, I think Dragon Ball Z Superhero beats Beast at box office.
There is no way that would hold up in any court anywhere. So, well, you know, technically, Judge, we did call it Avengers. No. They would never win that case. So no. The answer to that question is no, unfortunately. All right, what's next?
From Jay Bling, screenplay status update. After my super chat on Tuesday saying I reached page 50, I was too busy to work on it for 2 days. I got back to work on it yesterday afternoon, and now I'm on page 79.
That's the thing. Like, you get busy, you move away, yes, but always try to always be writing. Always be writing. What's it? ABW instead of
Yeah.
ABC. Always be writing instead of closing. Always try to keep that progress going. And don't forget, your first draft is going to be total shit. And
Send
so
it
don't
to
be
Rob
worried
anyways.
about that. Then you go back to the beginning.
No,
you
no,
check
no.
draft, all that kind of stuff.
Don't do that.
All right.
But you know, the key to screenwriting too is to finish.
Yeah.
Is to not rewrite until you're done. Get to
Yes,
the end.
yeah, get to the end, then go
And then
back,
go back and
and do your revision. All right, what's next?
I can only find this first part, so.
Oh, part one. So J Master sending in a $20 super chat.
Jay
Thank
Master,
you.
thank you, man.
Disney just announced the Disney Legends Awards ceremony will be on Friday, September 9th at 10:30 a.m. in Hall D23 and live streamed on D23's YouTube channel. With 14 new legends will be honored. This includes, and hopefully
We'll have
we'll
to get
find
to
that at some point.
I mean, it's way up there. So
Okay. So we'll keep like that. So D23 is coming up. It starts Friday, September 9th.
I'll be streaming
it's September
it.
9th, 10th, and 11th, and we will be there.
Some of us.
Well, okay, sorry. 2 of us will be there. Rob and I will be there. Sorry, Chris.
Darkness, my old
But we will be
friend.
there, and for all the bombs are dropping when they come on the big panel that's coming on this Saturday, of course. All right, what's next?
Home eating Cheetos by myself.
With chopsticks.
With
though.
chopsticks. I lost my mind. Where I was like, that's how you eat them. Al Renshaw. Dinosaurs in space. Why not? Not to get too crazy, but have them meet up with Voltron members and the dinosaurs become robots and form the Megazord.
How did the dinosaurs become robots?
Reasons.
we don't want to get too crazy.
Reasons. I love it.
Evolution. They're Borg. They're
Reasons.
Borgosaurs.
Borgosaurus. I like that. All right, what's next?
From Zach Marcello. Hi, Campea crew. Rob, I finally started watching For All Mankind, and man, this show has got me hooked. I know after the first 8 minutes of episode 1, this is definitely a show for me. Thanks for the rec.
Well, Zach, you know, I'm happy to do that. You have to send me money now that I've given you a recommendation. What I want now. Actually, you just did with
It's a
the
reference fee.
super chats. No, I'm glad you like it. I mean, Ray, you and I,
Yep.
we're the biggest fans of Ed Baldwin, I think, that exists. And I love that people watch his show. It's great.
All right, what's next?
From Ephraim, Jurassic Solution. Go full-blown Planet of the Apes. Anthropomorphic dinosaurs that study human fossils visited by an eccentric billionaire dinosaur who's created his human park.
Nice.
Wow.
Full circle.
I'd
It's
watch
gonna-
that.
Wow.
But it's going to take us a really long time to kill them. Where it's like, oh no, they're creating greenhouse gases.
Everybody's so funny, like the dinosaurs up north, all they eat is vegetables and like smoke weed.
Smoke weed.
Pitch it.
And then the dinosaurs in New Jersey, they have tans. and gel
Jurassic
on their
dink
scales.
Jurassic Shore.
I have no idea.
Jurassic. Shore.
Canadians have half heads.
Jurassic Dank Nugs.
They're wearing their tubes.
Yeah, Jurassic, the dankest of the nugs.
All right, what's next?
From Josh Kahn. Just finished this week's episode, Making of Arcane, and wow, animators do not get enough love. I was jaw-dropped at all the steps they take and with zero motion capture. Unreal work.
Oh no, seriously. What? Every once in a while, when I look back at how older traditional methods of animation were done, I'm amazed. Like really, you had to do that, like literally draw every frame, flip page. Okay, draw next frame. It's absolutely insane the way that's done. It's like watching Light and Magic with how they did the effects for Star Wars. It's like, yeah, today you just think, what are you talking about? Open up After Effects, drop in a composite, but the way they had to do things is crazy. And I often think about that with animation.
And Arcane is beautiful.
Oh, Arcane is
my
one of the most
gosh.
beautiful, gorgeous shows. It's still my favorite animated show of all time.
Oh, it's beautiful.
All right, what's next?
From Sin Vendetta, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Sin.
My personal top 8 2D animated films of all time. 8, Beauty and the Beast. 7, A Land Before Time. 6, Aladdin. 5, We're Back, A Dinosaur Story. 4, Robin Hood. 3, An American Tale. 2, The Lion King. And 1, The Secret of Nim.
I love The Secret of Nim.
I was not prepared for that film. My parents were like, what a cute little movie with mice. And I was just like,
man.
Yeah,
I
not
used
so
to watch
much.
that as a kid. I watched Secret of Nim all the time.
I mean, but it's Nicodemus. That movie is so good. But like right, the conceit of the film, right from the start. Oh, it's this family of little mice where the dad died recently. And like the rats, I mean,
all great
Secret of
animated
Nim,
films have dead parents, though.
That's pretty much true. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
From Andy Isola. Over under 50%, we get our first look at Mahershala in his Blade costume at D23.
Under. I mean, I think Mahershala will be there. I might guess who he would be there, but he comes out in costume. I don't think so. Like at the last D23 that I was at, like they dropped all kinds of bombs. Nobody came out in costume or anything like that. So I'm going to go, not impossible, but I'll go under 50.
I'm with you. I don't think we're going to, because they haven't started shooting yet.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
probably still designing the costume. Maybe.
All right, what's next?
From Zach Marcello. She-Hulk end credit scene was hilarious. I was dying.
No, seriously, I thought I was going to choke. I
So
seriously
good.
thought I was going to choke. Like that was so well done. And apparently every episode has a post-credit scene.
Yeah.
So, now everybody's going to be looking forward to every post-credit scene. From
Which
now
was
on.
sorely
Like,
missing in their D plus shows. End credit scenes.
I know, I agree. Like every time, here's the problem. Their credits are so long. They're so long. So, but you can't risk missing something. So you sit there for like the 5-6 minutes of credits and go, more times than not, you're going, okay, there was nothing.
Yeah, when you get to the translations.
Yeah.
Yes.
The translation credits, you're like, oh.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
From Nash Preds 99, sending in a $20 super chat.
Thank you, Nash
Thanks,
Preds. Go Leafs, go.
Please go after the Regal CEO the way you did Adam Aaron. They approved a $284 million bonus for themselves while myself and my employees were furloughed, and no one talks about it. I gave them 22 years of my life.
Oh man.
First of all, I don't know anything about that. I don't know what the specific structure of it was. I don't know if that was already contractual. I don't know about any of that stuff. So I can't comment on what happened there. I was a part of AMC. And I just know that in the midst of all that, it was such a frustrating thing for me to see, what did they say, 30,000 AMC employees got furloughed
Something
and
like
laid
that.
off, lost their income, lost their jobs, and the CEO got, forgive me if I'm missing the number a bit, but I think like a $9 million bonus on top of his already it's just something's wrong with the bro. Now, as far as the stuff with how that applies to Regal, again, I don't know what the scenario was. I don't know that this was already part of the contracts. I just don't know. I don't know. So I can't comment on it if I don't know. So that's hard. But that whole thing about the way movie theaters and the way that industry was hit, and just all the people that worked there and all that kind of stuff. Again, the movie theater industry wasn't the only industry hit, of course, but it's just the industry that we talk about here. So we totally acknowledge that during the pandemic. Restaurants. Dear God, how many restaurants got shut down? Like I know just where I lived in my neighborhood in Burbank, some of mine and Ann's favorite restaurants are gone
And
now.
bars too.
Bars,
Gone.
restaurants, food, like all that kind of stuff. And obviously our friends who work in the theater industry as well. All right, what's next?
From Raymond Verada. Rob, if BTS can have Lolas and aunties in the army, then we will make you an honorary Tito, uncle. Sincerely, the Titos of Blackpink.
All right, Raymond, if that's okay and no one's going to say anything, I'm in.
First
Can
of
I
all,
get-
they're not Filipino. The Blackpink is not
No.
Filipino.
They're
It's a little different.
Korean, Thai, you know.
Yeah, it is what it is. All right, what's next?
From Noah Drayson, Jurassic Moonfall. Oh no.
I'm in.
I get.
no.
I just go back to that idea about okay, to go full Planet of the Apes. It's in the future. It's smart dinos have a human park. I can see for the first time like a Velociraptor going in and seeing like Ezra Miller, and then the dino taking off his glasses. Like that could be something. There could be a movie there. All right, what's next?
From Raymond Verada, your Jurassic musings reminded me of Naomi Novik's Temerae series, where dragons fought on the British and French sides during the Napoleonic War. It was optioned by Peter Jackson, but didn't push through.
That first of all, Raymond, I've never heard of that.
That sounds dope as
But
hell.
that sounds super intriguing.
Right.
Like I love that, Raymond. That sounds great. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah.
This series?
And and I remember when he optioned that too, but again, it didn't move forward, probably because of Mortal Engines didn't do well.
Oh yeah, Mortal Engines was such a disappointment.
I
Yeah.
was so excited for that. It just
I totally forgot about Mortal Engines. Oh, God, I think everybody did. Oh, it was not good. All right, what's next?
From the horny Ewok. How terrifying. John, I'm seeing Weird Al September 9th. He's performing at our local theater in my little town of Greeley, Colorado. I'm excited.
I think Ann and I are also seeing Weird Al in the next couple of weeks. I can't remember when or where, but I know Ann's got the ticket. So and Ann actually, she's like, you're finally going to meet him because she bought me a special backstage meet and greet with Weird Al.
Oh,
That so like I have run into Weird Al like 5 times and never had the guts to introduce myself. Even like going from a premiere to an after party, we were on the escalator together. He was literally standing on the escalator in front of me, and Ann's like nudging me, saying, "Say hi, say hi." I'm like, "Oh no, I don't want to bother him. I'm sure he's a very busy man," or something like that. Like, I've gone up and talked to Harrison Ford. I've never been able to bring myself to go up and talk to Weird Al. It's the weirdest thing. Weirdest thing.
go
All
talk
right.
to him.
yeah.
What's next?
From Jesse Rod. Hey, crew, my question for you guys is if DC comes to you and says, take the keys for the next 5 years, what stories and characters would you use? Keep on the filthy.
Unfortunately, Jesse, that's like a 3-hour discussion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
That's a lot of stuff.
I mean, look, honestly, there's several potential avenues to go. I would go the partial reboot route. I mean, a few years ago, I think it was the time for them to just do a clean slate reboot. There's just too much baggage associated with the DCU at this point. Like everything from underperforming movies to the whole Snyder cut fiasco to, this is good, this isn't good. But at this point, I mean, maybe it is just time. Look, I would do anything to have more Henry Cavill Superman, but it might just be time to pull the plug on it, clean slate it, start again. I don't
You
know
know what
what
we're gonna do, right? You know us 3.
Yeah.
Bringing
even
in
gotta say
Terry
it. We don't even
McGinnis,
gotta answer.
baby.
It is Friday.
You're right. If you need a final bullet to the head to kill off the way things are, bring in Batman Beyond to finish it off.
The disrespect.
Unbelievable.
The unmitigated
September can't
gall.
come
The
soon enough.
unmitigated gall. All right, what's next?
From Andy Asola. John, you talked a while back about a bad experience on the set of Hulk. So do you have any good memories on set? Did you meet any of the actors?
Listen, despite the fact of how a particular assistant director ruined my experience on set of the Hulk. I mean, borderline lawsuit, actually. But aside from that, I loved the couple of days I got to spend on the set of the Hulk. I really, really did. I got to meet the director, although it's funny because he was laid up pretty good. He had just gotten back from a ski trip and he had broken his leg. So he was like hobbling around set on crutches with his leg in this big brace while trying to direct the film at the same time. My favorite night on filming the Hulk was the scene where they're at the military base and everybody's running onto the helicopters like it's nighttime and everybody's running onto the helicopters. That was so cool because just being there, and they had to do it over and over again where the helicopter has to come flying in and land like 50 feet from us and all that kind of stuff. And they had to do it over and over and over again. That was a really fun night. That was a pretty good night. Anyway, all right, what's next?
From Brian O'Neill Singleton sending in a $20 super chat. Thanks,
Thank
Brian.
you, man.
Never have I loved the color green, the first Orion Slave Girls, and now She-Hulk. Do you think that Jennifer's firm will merge with Hogarth's firm, which would allow Luke, Jessica, etc. to cross over? Bring on the filthy.
No, I don't think they do. Listen, everybody gets really disappointed. And by the way, no insider information. This very well could happen. Very well could. I'm not saying it's not. I do not believe that, the actual Netflix iterations of the characters we saw are going to be the actual ones we get in the MCU. I mean, we've already seen that it's not the same, right? Kingpin does not have superpowers in Netflix. That's it. That settles it. It's not the exact same one. They're going to be extremely similar. And again, Kevin Feige never told me that. I could be wrong about that.
Right.
We'll find out. If
I'm
we are,
still hoping
fine.
for Mike Coulter, man.
But that doesn't mean that they can't be really similar and something like that. But no, do I see that happening? No, this firm is clearly a lot bigger. So I don't think so. I don't know. Rob, do you think they will?
You know what? I'm holding out hope, because if they're going to have a bunch of cameos, they could do some fun stuff. And I would love to see the Defenders show up.
Right. We'll see. We'll find out. And I think a lot of people will be happy if they do. All right, what's
agree.
next?
From Stubble McShave, how to make 007 relevant? Answer is Jurassic Bond. Hugo Drax will unleash a horde of dinosaurs on the world while he awaits the human extinction on a space station. Jaws will be reimagined as a T-Rex.
I'm in.
Yeah, but I mean, I do got to throw in one thing. Bond has never not been relevant. I mean, I look at the money that the movies make. Bond continues to be relevant. So you don't want to, I don't think you want to go you have to adjust with the decades, absolutely, but you don't want to go too far off the base on that.
Hugo Drax needs more respect. I like it.
All right, what's next?
From Seconds from Disaster, Mutant Theory. They've always been there. We haven't heard about them because they've been a part of the stories. They haven't been a part of the stories we followed so far.
That would be a huge stretch. That's a huge stretch, because you're talking about thousands or millions of super powered beings. Particularly, I mean, it depends on how close you stick to what the X-Men are. The whole idea is around puberty, powers start to manifest and bad things happen.
Yeah.
And so the idea that they've just been there over the course of getting close to 40 MCU projects now, and we just never heard of them. That, I don't know, Rob. Like, to me, that is a stretch, and it's getting to be more and more of a stretch.
I agree.
Really?
I think it's.
I didn't think you would agree.
No, I agree. I agree.
Now I changed my mind.
Oh, you're right. Right, you've made me change my mind. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it is a stretch.
All right, what's next?
From Rob has a juicy butt.
What?
Hey, good for you. All right.
I don't know what that means. All right, what's
I'd
next?
like to see Rob act in a dirty film. Okay, well.
I
Well,
did.
you can
Like-
be on your own. You
Like
can be
about
on
I
coal
your own.
did.
miners?
Yes, but they haven't seen it.
Big Starklighter.
No,
All
like
right.
a movie about coal miners or something like that. Like, just they get, they
A
get
plumbing
dirty.
Sissy
docuseries.
Spacek and Robert Meyer Burnett, coal miner's daughter.
Yeah.
Too.
All right, what's next?
From Josh C98, just rewatched Nightcrawler and it still is amazing. Definitely Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance. Want to know what you think of the film overall?
Well, it's funny you bring that up, because last night I was up late doing show notes, and so I wanted the community to keep me company. So I jumped onto our community tab and I said, "Hey guys, for the next 30 minutes, I'll do an Ask Me Anything," and like 250 questions came in. So I wasn't quite prepared for that. But one of the questions was just quick off the top of your head recommendation for a great suspense or thriller. And the first thing that came to my head was Nightcrawler. And so I threw that one in there. I love Nightcrawler. I think it's Jake Gyllenhaal's best performance
He's great
of
in
his
it.
life.
I mean, he's
so good in it.
unhinged too. I mean, he's
Renee Russo's
twitchy,
incredible in
scary-
it.
yeah.
Like, it's just an incredible film.
It's an incredible film.
Have you
that
ever seen
topic
it,
is so
Chris?
interesting.
You've never seen
I've never
Nightcrawler.
seen
It's
Nightcrawler.
really good.
Oh,
You gotta
man,
watch
it's
Nightcrawler.
Would you
good.
like to borrow my Blu-ray?
What would I play it on?
You just watch it on a streaming service. I'm
Okay.
sure you can find it.
I
Yeah.
just- You just spin it in a circle on your finger really quickly and
Okay.
put it in front of
Oh
the TV.
I
man,
mean, listen very close.
Yeah.
Can you still put a needle on it? And
you get one
hear
of those
the-
flashlight lasers.
Yeah.
You know, as you spin it.
All right, what's next?
From Fangblaze71, just finished Daredevil season 1 and 2 were good, but damn, season 3 was amazing. I can't wait for Born Again in the MCU.
It's a great thing about, it's kind of like the original 3 Indiana Jones films. There's no wrong answer as to which one was the best. I mean, all 3 seasons were so good. The third one was particularly great. I mean, I don't know that I'd call the third my favorite, but it was
great.
really good.
And
Really
ninjas.
good.
I loved it.
And ninjas.
And ninjas.
All right, what's next?
Jacory Robertson watched the Stork Derby and learned it's a true story. The fuck, Canada? Do you know about this?
I have no knowledge of the Stork Derby.
Just
Is that like
racing
storks
to give
racing?
babies?
Like
Right.
Who can spread rabies the fastest? Go! I have honestly never heard of it. I have no idea.
It's just
what it
quick
is.
baby drop-offs.
Says female residents of Toronto, Ontario, Canada competed to produce the most babies in order to, I don't know, win all the prizes.
I
To
have certainly
produce
never
the
heard of
most
this.
babies?
It was in from 1926 to 36.
Oh, okay. So it's not okay. Something from well before my parents were
the
even
Hudson
born.
Spade
Yeah,
Company presents.
yeah. I've
the Stork
I've
Derby.
never heard of it. To be
John,
honest
were
with
you affiliated with this in 1926?
The people need the truth.
back when there was physical media. All right.
Oh wow, I'm out.
What's
That's
next?
it. I'm
From
gone.
Zach
He's
Marcello.
literally abusing us today.
Man, he complained about
all,
that.
all he said about me was that I'm creepy, and you know what? Fair. So,
Yeah, fair.
I'm doing fine today.
Cruel, but fair.
But I understand. Zach Marcello. Okay, last one. Just wanted to say how much I appreciate all of you.
Aw, thank you,
that's
Zach.
very
I've really grown to love you guys, and this is one of the best parts of my day, especially being alone working from home. Well,
Yeah,
thanks for
listen,
being
dude. I
here.
remember when I first left the corporate gig and started to do my YouTube channel, it was just solo. And this was obviously pre-pandemic. So Anne had a job she had to go to every day. And it would be me at home all day, which at first is pretty cool. Walking around in my gitch, which I accidentally got caught on once doing the John Campea Show. So I'd walk around my gitch all day. But you know what? After a year, like it would be, Anne would come home, and I felt bad too because Anne would just have a long day at work, right? She'd come home tired, and I'm like, I'd be like a puppy. You're home. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Let's go do something. And Anna's like, I just want to sit down for a while, please. I'm like, okay, but then what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? So I totally relate with you, man. And now that the situation's reversed, because ever since COVID, Anne started working from home, and we were both working at home, but then I opened the office, and now I'm not at home. Now Anne's the one who's home alone all day, but it's like,
Logan and I did that switch too.
oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Where he's much less obnoxious than me, though. Because I'd be like, hi, tell me everything about your day. Tell me every person you met. I haven't seen a human being for 7 hours. I'm going to die.
Yeah, it can be rough. So thank you for that, man. It's such a kind message, and we're glad to be there as a part of your day. All right, what's next?
From Matt Sanders. John, I tried mozzarella sticks
Oh
and
my
sour
God.
cream.
There we go.
And it was really good.
Damn right.
I love sour cream, so don't take my word for it, all of you doubters.
But listen, it's not a coincidence that we're about at 1,000%. If everybody's reading it, we have tried this, and it is glory. I am telling you, matzo sticks with sour cream. Next time you order matzo sticks, you know what? Don't even say don't bring marinara. Tell them to bring your marinara. That's fine. But say, you know what? Can you also bring me a side of sour cream? And with one of your matzo sticks, just try dipping it into your sour cream. It's a revelation.
Yeah,
Even
I love
Chef
that extra
Rigo,
dollar charge.
even Chef Rigo had to say when we went into the restaurant the other day, he goes, damn it, Campea, I tried it. Man, it was good. Damn right. Damn right.
I'm gonna say one thing. If you could find a restaurant that actually has mozzarella stick or whatever place with sour cream on the menu, I will try it. But until then, it just means it's just too weird for
Maybe John
any
has
restaurant.
started a whole new trend in restaurants. It's going to be popping up across the land.
I'll tell you. We are social media influencers here. It's gonna happen. It's another person
Diarrhea
brought to glory.
influencers.
Boom.
All right, what's next?
Got 'em.
Every time it comes up, I go full Sam the Eagle. I'm just like, no. J Master second part with a $50 super chat. Oh my gosh.
Wow, Jay
Okay.
Master.
All right, so this is
Setting the context again. Who was he bringing up? What was
Oh,
the-
this was for D23,
Yes.
the awards.
Oh,
yeah, for
yes,
the
the
new legend.
award
These are the people that are
recipients.
getting awards.
So Anthony Anderson, Kristen Bell, Chadwick Boseman, Robert Coltrane, Patrick Dempsey, Robert Price, Bob Foster, Jonathan Groff, Don Hahn, Josh Gad, Doris Hardoon, Adina Menzel, Chris Monton, Ellen Pompeo, and Tracy Ellis Ross.
That's quite a lineup.
That's a lot of folks.
Does that mean that Kristen Bell's going to be there?
If she's
Maybe.
getting a Legends Award,
You know what?
probably.
She was at the last D23.
I love Kristen Bell.
She's incredible.
Yeah, she's great.
She's so
I
funny.
just- you know, if I could get her from.
Idina
Shepherd.
Menzel was there too.
I love her too.
They actually came out and sang some of the pieces for Frozen 2, which was really good. So like that's a really nice lineup. Okay,
That's so many
first of all,
nice
Jay
people.
Masters, let me say thank you so much. I mean, you're one of our longtime community members, but thank you so much for supporting us on that level, man. That's incredibly great, and I'll look forward to being there when we see all these people inducted. That's gonna be great. All right, what's next?
From Jay Master again with
Just
another
not done.
$20 super chat. Jay, oh my gosh. From She-Hulk director Kat Corio teased during an interview that episode 1 sets up multiple projects for the MCU, and head writer Jessica Gao confirmed that Kevin Feige had complete control of Daredevil in the series.
I mean, well, let's make no mistake about anything. Kevin Feige has complete control over everything that happens in the MCU. It ain't nothing happens in the MCU that he doesn't approve. But I wonder if that comment was made prior, because we found out that episode 1 was at some point going to be episode 8.
Right.
And so I wonder if her comment about that might have been when what they originally intended to be the start of the series was. I don't know. I don't know, but it just makes me wonder about that. Because, man, they made the right decision to launch with that episode.
I agree. But that's really interesting. If we get another episode that sets up a bunch of stuff in the MCU, I could see that happening.
All right, what's next?
From Ben Rayner sending in a $20 super
Thank you,
chat.
Ben.
Thanks, Maybe Madam Web is in the Venom universe and Spider-Man has been disappeared for a while, and this movie will be how they bring Andrew Garfield back into the world and surprise Venom. And surprise, Venom has been in Amazing World the whole time.
Well, I mean, look, whenever you get into this multiversal bullshit, you can say, well, there's no rules, you can do anything. That's fine. By the way, if you understand Madam Web, she doesn't have to be in anybody's universe. She's in all of them.
Right.
She could be everywhere at all things with her threads. She could be anywhere she wants to be. So there's that. That being said, the idea of, there is a logic to what you're saying, Ben, because if we go back to that theory that this is going to be about what if Peter was never born and Madam Web shows up and talks to a bunch of characters, maybe even in Venom's universe, where maybe that's why Venom's universe doesn't have a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Madam Web shows up and says, you don't understand. There was a hero that stopped this and this and this, but they came up with a plan, went back and stopped them from ever being born. He was Peter Parker. He was Spider-Man. And they all go, well, then we got to fix things and we got to go back. I mean, it would be consistent with that and would explain why you've got a Venom without a Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what they're doing.
I'd be there for that, man. I mean, the more I think about it, it sounds good to me.
Yeah. I mean, bring it on. I really still doubt Andrew Garfield, I do not believe is ever coming back as Spider-Man. I mean, popping up as a cameo here and there, maybe, but I don't think he's ever
I
playing
want
Spider-Man.
him to, because he's the Spider-Man who fucks.
I love Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I really do. He's my favorite Spider-Man. All right, what's next?
From Jonathan Robinette. On the best and worst natural disaster movies, Rob, Knowing is not a natural disaster film. It's a science fiction film.
Bruh.
But with natural disaster in it.
You're going to step into his house and tell him what's sci-fi?
I mean, technically, you could say that lots of natural disaster movies are science fiction.
Sure.
The Swarm, my worst. I mean, you have a nuclear core of a nuclear power plant that's exposed to the people.
Cody's pick, the core.
Total
like
science
all
fiction.
that technology is totally
Look,
science
the
fiction.
natural at the end of Knowing, a solar flare destroys the world. That is a truth that could happen. That's a naturally occurring phenomenon.
Yep.
So it's absolutely a natural disaster.
I agree with you.
And it's a science fiction film.
But I mean, but to
Because there
that
are
point,
aliens in it.
when you first brought up Knowing, I also kind of like, is that really a natural disaster? But you made a good point. It's like, you know what? Yes, that is a natural disaster.
And not only that, at the end of the movie, the Earth is destroyed.
Yeah.
It's one of the best natural disaster movies.
All right, what's next?
He should have seen his reaction when I said mine at the very
Oh,
end.
I was so
Melancholia.
pissed I didn't pick that.
Oh yeah, what was the one, John?
Melancholia.
Melancholy.
Oh,
I mean,
a good
that's a
one.
great natural disaster movie.
right.
Just like The Happening, my pick.
Natural disaster movie, The Happening.
Why do you guys laugh? That movie.
That
The movie
was
itself is a disaster.
That movie, well, yeah, was a natural disaster.
Wow.
All right,
Really?
what's
Should
next?
I just
From Nash
yell
Reds
now?
99. With the Beast Talk, how has no one mentioned the classic film Roar? It features a young Melanie Griffin who was mauled and had to get 50 stitches from 1 to the 132 lions in the film.
That's all we
One of
got.
I'm not familiar with Roar.
It's crazy. It's basically a documentary about how they lived with these real cats.
With Melanie Griffith?
Yeah, and it's
Dakota Johnson's mom?
Yes.
Really?
And it's the famous actress
Melanie Griffin?
It's Tippi Hedren. Tippi Hedren.
Hendren?
Yeah.
the birds?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah.
I'm not even aware of it. I'll have to check
Just
it out.
watch the trailer. You'll be like, this is not real. It is real.
All right. You
Dang.
got me. All right. Thanks for bringing that and putting it on the radar, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What's next?
From 9.8 slabs only. What's a 50-50 shot?
Oh, 50-50 shots, like if there's a person here, like you're looking at it from the side and their faces are in front of each other. Like
A good example of that, if you watch the first episode of She-Hulk, there's a part where Hulk and She-Hulk are facing each other in the frame and doing the namaste thing.
Yep.
That would be an example
That's
of
a
a 50-50 shot. All right. Good question. What's next?
And then just a bunch of support. Jordan Malarca and Jason Oterio. Thanks so much, you guys.
Thank you, guys. And guys, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show. Thank you so much for being here and making the show part of your day. And this is the end of the week, so the part of your week. So thank you so much, guys. Hey, don't forget, we got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. First of all, later today at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so about 3 hours from now, we have a new episode of Open Mic going live at 3 p.m. So if you're around and you got some time, come on and join us as we talk about all the things that you guys want to talk about. So that'll be good. And also, don't forget, on Monday, big day on Monday. Because Monday, not only does the John Campea Show return, but in the afternoon on Monday at 3 p.m., we have our first post-game after show open spoiler discussion of the new Game of Thrones show, House of the Dragon. And we are so stoked about that. That show, of course, comes out Sunday. Now, people might be asking, why aren't you doing a pregame show for it today? Because we literally know nothing about it yet. You know, like with She-Hulk, that's in the MCU. We can have theories and speculate a lot. With this particular world set hundreds of years before games, we don't know anything. So we will probably start having pregame shows for it on Fridays. But for today, we got open mic, and Monday we're going to do the after show for it. Very, very excited about it. Make sure you guys join us for that as well. All right. So for everybody in the room here, Mr. Robert Meyer Burnett, the wonderful Chris Carr, Ray Ora over there, and right beside him, producer Jonathan Voico. My name's John Campea. That'll do it for us, guys. Thanks so much for being here. And until next time, my friends, bye-bye.